Good playgrounds should feel like part of the community with local features, trains, lifesaver huts, tractors and tank stands and sheepdogs running around. Playgrounds aren't just about having some fun. They're also about kids growing up and developing skills.
For us at Playworks, it's about giving the child a life experience.
G'day and welcome to The Free Hit, where we tackle some of the issues in our game hockey. Tonight we've got an extended panel. Richard, Christine, Kath and Greg are joining me tonight to talk about where should we build a turf in Brisbane. Kath, where do we put one?
Well, I believe that Brisbane doesn't need just one more turf, it needs 5 at least. By our numbers, we've got over 4,500 members between BHA and BWHA, and we only have 5 turfs at the moment. It's certainly not enough. So we need to have 1 in the northern corridor, we need 2 probably out in the western corridor, 2 at Downey Park, which is the home of women's hockey and where we have the biggest base of members in the state. And we also have potentially a legacy from the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. So hopefully a turf on the northern end of the Gold Coast would help cater for the Logan and all that growing area down there.
So Greg, from the north side of town, it'd be great for Pine River St Andrews to get a turf. How are things going out in that sort of neck of the woods?
Yeah, the Moreton Shire has actually put us on a master plan in our sporting area. At this stage we're on phase 2 and time frame hopefully within the 5 to 7 year bracket, money giving.
Downey Park, Christine?
Yeah, working with council at the moment, have been for the last few years to put 2 turfs into Downey Park. There are some geographical issues there, primarily around flooding and being built on an old landfill, so they're proving to be challenges, but hopefully we'll be able to overcome those.
And Richard, Kath talked about the Western Corridor. Obviously UQ have got facilities out there, but there's still no turfs down.
No, we're working really hard with the University of Queensland to rectify that problem. We're very close. We're the closest we've been in many years. The unfortunate thing is we don't have money to bring to the table, so we need the University of Queensland to invest in facilities out there, and thankfully they're listening to us, and we're very close to moving ahead with a $4.5 million facility at the St Lucia's High.
Kath, money's obviously an issue for anyone who wants to put down a turf, be it a club or an association. What costs are involved these days with putting a facility down?
Well, certainly establishing them, you're looking at least $1 million for a turf. So, but it's then really the upkeep. So it's making sure that not only do you have the money up front, whether that's through grants, loans or whatever you need to make that happen, but also then having that sustainable plan and a business plan to make sure that they're affordable long term.
Greg, 5 to 7 years is a long time to wait for a facility. What happens in the meantime with the growth of Pine River St Andrews Club, for instance?
Yeah, it's a great catchment area for trying to get kids to play, so we have said to the council, you build it, they will come. And obviously we're trying to push it with getting grants to get things rolling, but at this stage we've just got to continue using the facilities at Chermside.
Richard, associations versus clubs, should it be the clubs? Should University of Queensland have to in fact put the money up for a turf field that will be used by Greater Brisbane, and why shouldn't that come back to the association to put those facilities in?
We need someone to invest, and in Sydney and Melbourne we have councils, we have smaller councils. In Brisbane we have one big council, so therefore we don't have that luxury. We're in a situation where if we want our club to grow, and grow not only in senior members but also in a junior base, we need this facility. But again, on top of that, it's got to be multi-purpose usage as well. It's not just hockey. If one does go at UQ, it will be for multiple sports, and it has to be that way.
Kath, you spoke about numbers. Seriously, how many facilities could Brisbane, both men and women, use today if we had them?
I think for training perspective, we could certainly put another 3 tomorrow and they'd be fully utilised for training. Fixtures, we'd have to look at increasing the number of junior divisions on the turf. At the moment in BWHA there's only 3 on a Friday night and then under 13s, but we have over 60% of our members actually still play on grass, which shows you that there's still a huge potential for turf development. So
with the planning, Christine, that goes into 2 fields, it's still not enough?
It's not enough for the BWHA and the BHA catchment. As Kath said, 4,000+ players. The New South Wales figures for turf justification is 1 turf for every 300 registered players, so we're miles behind the ballpark straight away. So there's plenty of scope to improve that, but can we afford to build them, and do we have a business case to maintain them long term?
So that business case is obviously there, it's been presented. What are the stumbling blocks to putting turf on the paddock now, Greg?
Basically just cost and available land. That's probably the main issue that I can see at this stage. So for us at the north side is actually getting the cost from the council. Because
it's going to attract the kids to the sport and keep them local instead of having to travel to different locations around Brisbane. They don't see the advantage in that? No, they don't, and to be honest, we have highlighted the fact that if we don't do it soon enough, we won't be able to have sustain an income to renew the turf all the time. So if we end up with the 5 turfs, as Cass said, then obviously the money will be spread out further. So it will be harder to upgrade the turf. Kathy, imminence of the Commonwealth Games, it's a few years off, but will that attract anything as far as the increasing the awareness of hockey that's out there now with the Com Games coming to Queensland?
Absolutely, and hockey at the Olympic level and at Commonwealth Games level is always really well followed by the general public. They understand the game for that 10 minutes that it's on, and they're starting to enjoy hockey, and we need to have those facilities so we can attract more people. We have a lot of population coming into southeast Queensland from down south, and I get a lot of questions from people wanting to play hockey that have come from down south, and they say, where can I play on turf? And when I tell them we have restricted divisions and they may have to play on grass, they're horrified because they haven't played on grass for 20 years. So we really are well behind every other state when it comes to turf.
So Greg, the site at Brendale?
Yeah, basically it's a virgin site, so there's nothing done, so the council will have to assist us by building the turf, the fencing, the clubhouse, the whole lot. So we have some money is in the bank, but nothing compared to help that.
Christine, the focus on Downey Park for the women for turfs?
Primarily because it's the home of Brisbane women's hockey, and it also has a significant amount of existing infrastructure that we wouldn't have to rebuild if we were to go to a greenfield site. So we have car parking, we have access to public transport, we have a clubhouse. A lot of the grass fields have watering systems. If we were to go greenfield, we need to replace or put in a new clubhouse, new car parking. We need at least capacity for 4 grass fields, because to run tournaments you need 2 turfs and 4 grass. So it's a big investment, could be upwards of $10 million to put that sort of infrastructure or duplicate that sort of infrastructure on another park.
And Richard, should it be the clubs that are wearing the costs of putting fields in, the associations aren't assisting?
In an ideal world, yes, it would be great. I think but that's the discussion that we need to have. We need to have the discussion between the tension of having a facility that can impact on the reducing of fees and getting better facilities for the total hockey family, which would be a benefit. But at the same time, we're tribal based, and we need to play our part in growing the sport in our neck of the woods. And with that, you need facilities to give justice to growing in a corridor, in that southwest corridor of Brisbane. We need a facility to do that.
Well, there you go, those multi-millionaires that are out there. There's some facilities out there that are needed. We desperately need them in our facility. Get onto your local councillors to assist both associations and the clubs in getting those facilities down. It'll improve our game, improve our profile, and get more people on the paddock. I'm Tom Wetton. This is another edition of Free Hit. We'll catch you soon.